This holiday, BMW has reunited 3 members of the family at the BMW Road Home Sales event. The Agile X3, engineered for any adventure. The plug-in hybrid X5, commanding the streets with unmatched presence. And the all-electric i4, charging into the future with impeccable performance. Hurry in to find what powers your journey at the BMW Road Home Sales event. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Visit Valley BMW Center today for attractive lease and finance offers.
All right, we're all set for the party. I've trimmed the tree, hung the mistletoe, and paired all those weird-shaped knives and forks with the appropriate cheeses. And I plugged in the Bartesian.
Bartesian?
It's a home cocktail maker that makes over 60 premium cocktails, plus a whole lot of seasonal favorites, too. I just got it for $50 off. So, how about a Cosmopolitan or a mistletoe margarita?
I'm thirsty.
Watch. I just pop in a capsule, choose my strength, and...
Wow, it's beginning to feel more seasonal in here already.
If your holiday party doesn't have a bartender, then you become the bartender. Unless you've got a Bartesian, because Bartesian crafts every cocktail perfectly in as little as 30 seconds. And I just got it for $50 off.
'Tis the season to be jollier.
Add some holiday flavor to every celebration with the sleek, sophisticated home cocktail maker, Bartesian. Get $50 off any cocktail maker at bartesian.com/cocktail. That's BARTESIAN.com/cocktail.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Live at lunch.
You are looking live.
Live at lunch. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
What the hell's going on out here?
Now, here's Jimmy Ott and Charles Hannegriff.
For some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live? Is it live? Is it live?
From Modesto, corner of Burbank and Nicholson, welcome to the Wednesday edition of Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Hannegriff along with Jimmy Ott. Jordan Kitchens back in the studio. Good to have you with us here. So nice, the weather outside. We are outside here on the patio.
Typical week, Christmas week, huh?
They don't get this everywhere. Where you get we're getting fall weather in December. Is that fair? Would you consider this fall weather?
If you say leaves are falling,
right?
That garage got a lot of leaves.
Finally, good to have you with us. Randy McKay be with us a little bit later on this hour. Scott Rabelais, Wes Reynolds from VEASAN as we go into playoff weekend. In college football, bowl games are underway. Saw one last night. Really thought, if you were with us on Memphis, I really thought that was the right side. Right up until the end, I thought they got out to a 17.
4.5 are out there.
If you looked, if you got 5.5,
this is back to back weeks. Look, we do business with our friends at DraftKings, with Bet Rivers, with BetMGM down at Beau Rivage. And look, if you're going to do this, man, you just cannot sell yourself short. And this is back-to-back nights sort of reminder. 6.5s were there late. They're mostly 6s. There were when I went on the show. Let's see, when I submitted the picks for the website at about 3:34, it was 5.5. When about an hour before kick, it was 4.5. Or what time did it kick, Charlie? 6? 7?
No, it was after 8. They waited after the basketball game.
No. It was about an hour. About 5 o'clock, it was 4.5. By the time I went on with Matt, it was 5. What did you get it at?
5.5. but early, very, very, very early.
So it's you saw some 6.5s yesterday morning. So it bounced around.
Yeah.
Now I'm not going to try and tell you I'm the best about. Just usually, you just wait. If you're going to play the dog, play the favorite early. But there was a little dip in there. So it's all over the place. And, hey, was it a tough beat? If you had 5.5, I think so.
I felt like I was
so.
on the right side. I felt like Memphis was the better team all night.
There's never, and I know you don't like to do it, but there's never been a bad beat you couldn't hedge out of. So there were 15.5s out there at some point. There were plenty of 11.5s. There were 10s plus 48 all throughout that game. So, and what about the decision to kick the field goal from 50 yards?
Yeah,
that was. Huh?
It didn't seem like it was a high percentage play.
Why? Well, I mean, how's the game flow going? Could anybody stop anybody?
No, not in the second half.
Well, go
really after the first quarter.
Go for the 2.5 yards.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping.
I mean, what's a higher percentage? You to convert the 4th and 2.5 with offense that can't be stopped, or a 50-yard field goal in college?
Yeah, that for sure.
And guess what? You make the field goal, it's still a one-possession game.
Yeah, it's 8.
You make the first down, it's over. So even more so, even when it's maybe lower percentage, but it was ass backwards for the Memphis coach. And but they the play was that really ended it on 5 too was the slide. Green's got he can't slide there because he's going to get the first if he just runs like a back.
Yeah.
And so that stops the clock.
And they really enforce. It's almost like they err on the side of caution early on those slides. The spot where you start to slide, right. And we see them miss spots all the time. They err on the side of caution at the very beginning of the slide, which is fine.
That's what you're supposed to.
Right.
I mean, where that ball is the first time. Yeah.
You're not going to get the benefit of any extra yardage.
No, that's green. You know that. That's pretty consistent where they spot it.
Yeah, it's early. No, that's on the quarterback. I'm with you.
Yeah,
I'm with you there.
I mean, as hard as he played the whole game, he blew that one.
Yeah,
Did
you hear Rich Rod? They had him on early in the third quarter.
I missed it.
He was, they always do that when there's a coach coming in. They bring him up to the
right.
And so it was a 4th down, and it was a 4th, and I want to say 2, long one, something like that. And it said, "So, Coach, what would you do?" And he's like, "Well, first of all, we wouldn't have huddled up. And the second thing is we would have known we were going without any question." If you saw Jacksonville State when he was there, they were as fast as anybody, and that's what's coming for West Virginia. And I think that's where he's had his most success. When his teams are going fast, and he didn't even hesitate. Even with a team that
you think they were the high tempo team like that at West Virginia?
Not the first time. At that time, tempo was not what it is now. They were a fast team for that time period. I thought when Pat White was quarterback. I mean, they went faster than everybody else.
You think?
Maybe not than Arkansas or something like that.
I don't recall them.
They were an up-tempo offense.
Arkansas was a tempo team back then?
They were an open offensive team when Petrino was there. I thought they went – listen, you can't compare it to now. I mean, tempo now and tempo then.
Chip Kelly was doing it. He was the first one.
Chip Kelly was going faster.
Malzahn.
He was the fastest.
Malzahn. Yeah. But I don't recall, Rodriguez when he was running the offense at Tulane.
No, you're going back to the late 90s
then he went from Tulane to Clemson or West Virginia to be this tempo. I think this is a Jacksonville State thing. And the last 2 years there, he's very involved. And this is where I wonder about Jacksonville State in their bowl game about, he's just so involved with their offense. Both coaches in that bowl game, Ohio and Jacksonville State, are gone. I think the Ohio guy took the Charlotte job. He took the West Virginia job. But he's so involved with the play calling, with the tempo. And, yes, he's going to be in. Well, it'll be interesting to see if he maintains that while going to West Virginia.
He certainly indicated that last night.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Okay.
He says, look, here's a 4th and 1. He says, not only are we going for it, we wouldn't have huddled here. We're not taking any time to make a decision.
You have no timeouts in less than a minute.
No, this was at the beginning of the third quarter.
I got you.
This is the beginning of the third quarter.
Okay, my bad.
So he's bringing that. Is what he indicated last night, which is hey, that's where your comfort level is. I think he can recruit to that at West Virginia.
Oh, well, you can't recruit the layers of defensive linemen and keep them, and put them out there. And I mean, who was, we talked about
what's his budget?
Reputation, and listen, when Iowa, how many games in 2023 was their total in the 20s? It was just crazy. I mean, a handful, and they were going under every time. Army, Navy, under. But this year, all three of those teams were over teams because Army's quarterback, Iowa's quarterback was healthy. They were a little bit more dynamic on offense. They weren't as good on defense. So they were just more – so they were more offensive and less defensive than their branding. The same thing goes this year, Charlie, for Ole Miss. Who was faster? It's two teams in the conference, Ole Miss and Tennessee. Ole Miss and Tennessee had way better defensive fronts. They protected those fronts, and they, by not going as fast, Ole Miss was not nearly as fast, and in Tennessee either. I mean, remember that game? How many snaps they had when Ole Miss beat Tennessee? Was that the golf ball game, or was it?
And golf balls and mustard. Golf balls and mustard.
Mustard and golf ball.
Yeah.
Kiffin goes back to Knoxville the first. They had almost like 190 snaps in a game. Yeah. It still went under. The thing was like 100.
Fade the next week.
But they Malzahn dialed it back because it just, because they had a complete roster, more of a complete roster, certainly defensive front. But you're going to wear them out if you play that, if you force them to be on the field that more set per game. You wear them out, not just fatigue, but over the course of the season, they're more prone to injury as well.
We got two bowl games today. One's at 4:30. That's the Boca Raton Bowl, Western Kentucky and James Madison.
Possible bad weather in that one. Be careful if you're an over player.
It is
might even have some delays, some weather delays.
Rain and let me see what I got.
Some wind.
15-mile-an-hour wind and a 45% chance of rain. So, yeah, that's it at kickoff here today and tonight. UNLV and Cal minus a quarterback that has
headline flipped.
Has left. Yeah, UNLV is a 3-point favorite. That's at SoFi tonight at 8 o'clock. Your two bowl games. We'll touch on those a little bit later.
I did a great job of making sure I had. Want to talk about? I like Cal in the game, but then Mendoza pulls out. I laid like 4.
You laid 4 with Cal?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yes.
That's not a very good line today.
The veteran handicapper of the show. I mean, it's what you get.
How were you supposed to know that the quarterback was going to bail?
Did he choose where he's going? Did he land?
I haven't seen it yet. Maybe he did. You gotta be on almost 24/7 portal watch to catch them all. I'll look it up in the break, but I don't know if he's landed. I know where he's not. He's not in Inglewood.
No, I'm sorry. 3.5.
3.5.
3.5. I laid over here. And don't forget over here at Modesto here in. On Burbank and the patio. Yes, indeed. Look at that. The Go Eat Concepts Christmas table. I've got it right here as well. I did the Thanksgiving. So good job, Steven. Thank you, buddy. But, man, we got a Christmas table that's set up. You pick up over at Roca. I've done a lot of holiday catering and things like that over the years. Some just to kind of supplement the stuff I do at the house. But, man, it was really, really good. It's all sort of refrigerated so you can heat it up at your leisure so you can have it hot and properly done. Turkeys have to be done like that. I mean, because you got to, when they sit for a little bit, they're just not the same. So you want to, when all of your company, you come in at the time, you have it done. So we're doing smoked meats for the holidays, for Christmas and New Year's. Smoked brisket bundle, which is pecan slow. Smoked whole brisket, barbecue sauce, a creamy horseradish sauce, pickled red onions, dill pickles, 2 dozen slider rolls. You talk about great. The prime rib, we're doing that. Smoked pulled pork bundle, smoked turkey breast as well. Mac and cheese, Brussels sprouts, meatballs, potatoes au gratin, sweet potato casserole. I had that with a pecan layer. You talk about great. You freeze your toasted meringue, so you do it about the last 15 minutes, and you put it back in the oven to give it kind of that charred type of effect. So all of the great stuff over at Roca for the holiday tables. It's our Go Eat Concepts Christmas table over at Roca. Pre-order now through December 21st. Pickup is New Year's Eve, any day, anytime over at Roca.
Live at Modesto, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Modesto on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Remember, the show's available on demand, 1045ESPN.com, the new LouisianaSports.net. New Handycast that we dropped on Monday night has most of the players that are committed, everybody that was committed and signed in the transfer portal as of Monday night. We've got film on. You can check that out, Handycast on YouTube.
How many guys have landed yet?
9 in 9 days.
And how many did they lose?
16.
16 and 9, okay.
Yeah, and I would say of the 16 that they lost, you're talking about maybe 3 that, would have figured into their plans. Maybe 1 as a starter. And of the 9 that are coming in, I would say at least 6 of them.
So the other 13 had no chance to develop and get a little better?
No, I didn't say that. I'm saying that based on what they did last year and how much they played, going into spring, you would have said, they got some work to do. 3 guys, not saying any of these guys can't.
Right.
Sean Womack is the one. Did he play at the end of the season? No, there was something going on there. They left him home from Florida. I thought he's got enormous potential, but didn't work out. He ends up at Ole Miss. I won't be surprised if he's successful up there. And C.J. Daniels ought to like to head back. Of the group that's coming in.
Like a guy like Sampson, you don't give him a chance to develop? The receiver?
He ain't caught a ball in 2 years, Jimmy. I mean, I see the ability, but 2 years he ain't caught a ball.
Don't forget what he was. Forget what he was rated. I don't care if he had no stars or 18 stars.
There was opportunities to get on the field at wide receiver this year, and he didn't.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
After 2 years, no, I got to kind of move on. You asked about Mendoza, the quarterback from Cal. They're playing the bowl game without him tonight. I looked up what his 2 main suitors are in the transfer portal, since I was not aware of this. And I'll tell you, it's an SEC team and a Big Ten team that are the favorites to get him. And I'm just going to guess that these 2 teams have never, in the history of either school, battled it out for a football recruit. Ever. I could be wrong, but I just don't see it.
Northwestern and Texas won't. Northwestern, Oklahoma.
You're on the right track. Think program that has really no history but had a really good year.
Vanderbilt and
in the Big
Michigan.
Ten? No.
No. You're thinking of Indiana.
Indiana.
Whatever the adventure, there's a BMW engineered to take it on. The X3 delivers a striking design with agile performance. The 100% electric i4 packed with pure electric energy. Or the plug-in hybrid X5, an impressive versatile SUV granting full control on every journey. Choose what powers your next adventure during the BMW Road Home Sales Event. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Hurry in for exceptional offers through January 2nd. Visit BMWUSA.com for details.
All right, we're all set for the party. I've trimmed the tree, hung the mistletoe, and paired all those weird-shaped knives and forks with the appropriate cheeses. And I plugged in the Bartesian.
Bartesian?
It's a home cocktail maker that makes over 60 premium cocktails, plus a whole lot of seasonal favorites, too. I just got it for $50 off. So, how about a Cosmopolitan or a mistletoe margarita?
I'm thirsty.
Watch. I just pop in a capsule, choose my strength, and...
Wow, it's beginning to feel more seasonal in here already.
If your holiday party doesn't have a bartender, then you become the bartender. Unless you've got a Bartesian, because Bartesian crafts every cocktail perfectly in as little as 30 seconds. And I just got it for $50 off.
'Tis the season to be jollier.
Add some holiday flavor to every celebration with the sleek, sophisticated home cocktail maker, Bartesian. Get $50 off any cocktail maker at bartesian.com/cocktail. That's BARTESIAN.com/cocktail.
And a powerhouse out of the SEC. Georgia.
Okay.
Have Georgia and Indiana ever gone head up for a recruit?
Dominique Wilkins.
Yeah, that's about right. How do you think Dominique would have done in Bobby Knight's system? He scored less points.
I don't know.
Knight wasn't too keen on coaching Barkley in the Olympics in '84. I don't know how they'd done with Meek.
Keeping in mind, I mean, Isaiah lasted 2 years there, right?
He did.
Yeah, I mean, that was where you stayed at least 3.
Yeah,
most guys stayed 3. That one to skip a year.
Knight probably worked harder on Isaiah Thomas maybe than any recruit he had there.
I mean, even Dwayne Scales.
When got him out of got him out of Chicago.
Astronaut would make he had no problems telling you how much he didn't care for class. He only went hardship 1 year.
Yeah, back then.
Yeah, that was the same era.
You played, yes, it was. The game that I enjoyed the most last night, the football game was fine, especially after the first quarter, but Florida and North Carolina from Charlotte last night, the Jumpman Classic, was not just a terrific game, but, Jimmy, I think a real indication, again, we're reminded just how strong the SEC is. Florida came out smoking. They hit 7 threes in the first half. They were dominating North Carolina. They got up 17 points. They were up 12 at the break, and it was pretty clear. Carolina, even the broadcast crew was like, Carolina's just trying to hang on, just trying to get to the half. They don't want to give another little 6-0 flurry and go down 20 or something. And they got it to 12. And then they come out in the second half, and R.J. Davis couldn't miss. Davis been around.
These games
it seems like a long time. Yeah, he's a senior. Which you don't get a whole lot of that.
But he's an explosive offensive player,
and he was terrific. And they go all the way back from down 17 to they took a 4-point lead into the second to last TV timeout.
Looked like they were going to win.
Yeah, and then Florida weathers a storm. I remember thinking to myself somewhere around the 5-minute mark, I'm like, when Florida was up a point, I said, man, North Carolina comes all the way back from 17 down. They take the lead, and then Florida holds it together enough to take the lead back, and then at the end they hang on to win it 90-84 if you were sitting on that 4 number. There was a kind of an odd sequence where Florida chose to foul up 4 with about 8 seconds to go, 7 seconds to go.
Yeah, Golden. I've never seen this. I've never seen. I don't care. I've never seen a coach up 4 with less than 10 seconds to go foul.
Did you think the player did it on his own? Did he?
No.
You think he lost track of the clock? No. Okay.
No.
Because that's what I went through my mind. The player lost track of it. I can't imagine the coach.
This was his deal.
Okay.
This was his deal. He missed the front end of 1-1, and they hit the 2 free throws, and then RJ misses a 3. I gave out North Carolina on Otterlocks. Brutal loss. So you had you split your tough losses and your fortunate wins last night. This is what you have, Charlie. So North Carolina was the weaker team. Okay, they are playing in a quasi home court advantage, not on campus, but in Charlotte, like LSU playing in the Superdome.
Yeah,
and they rallied. They got the crowd behind them. In the underdog team, all of a sudden, man, they had their chance. But this is just, and it dawns. Florida, Bama, Auburn, Tennessee, all these football schools are just better than North Carolina. And I'm not sure about Duke yet, and I know Duke caught Auburn at a great time with the Maui flu, right after they stormed through Maui. But that's just where we are. As good of a game as that was, it wasn't as good as Clemson, South Carolina.
No, it wasn't.
Because I know the hate you got there. South Carolina's a dog. They're at home. I love watching Shefflin play. He was kind of the big guy, the big to P.J. Hall, because he was the junior, senior. He was the upperclassman, and he was their best player. You could run an offense through him. He could stretch it out and face the basket. He could post up with his back to the basket. He could pass out of it. And Shefflin was but Shefflin is extended his range. He hit a 3 in that great game. What a great game on Saturday, too, against Memphis. And that was a 10 a.m. start, so it was kind of a standalone game for a little bit. But he's like a Wes Unseld. He's below the rim player, but God, he's a headache to deal with, man, because he uses that glass. He is a headache to deal with, and they had to rally. It was outstanding, man. And those teams just don't like each other. Beamer's there cheering on the Gamecocks. Dawn Staley is there. She's doing her thing and all support. It's it was had a lot of emotion in that building last night. And South Carolina are they the lowest RPI or NET team going into last night?
By a lot.
And they've beaten the team. Clemson's going to be there. Clemson's got a 50-50 shot to be a Sweet 16 team again.
They're ranked for whatever that's worth.
And you know what they are? They old.
Yeah,
they got to know they're one of the oldest rosters in college basketball.
Advantageous in college basketball.
Yes.
South Carolina's net is 84. Okay, the next lowest in the conference is LSU at 58. So you see the gap there. This is one of the better teams in the ACC. This is, at least according to the net, the lowest ranked team in the SEC, and Clemson's got to get a banked three-pointer off a missed free throw, length of the floor, bank a three to get it to overtime, and South Carolina ends up winning the game in overtime. Florida's one of the best teams in the country. North Carolina, in the post game, they were talking about, it's like, man, North Carolina better hustle here. They played a hell of a schedule. They played Kansas, they played Auburn, they played Michigan State, they played Alabama, they played Florida. They lost them all. And they play UCLA on Saturday, I think it is, or Sunday. And it's like, hang on. Carolina's got no meat on the non-conference bone. They tried.
What's their NET, though?
They didn't
Probably
beat.
top 30?
Right now, North Carolina is sitting at,
To me, they're like an 8-9 seed right now.
37, yeah.
Yeah, I think they're an 8-9 seed. I didn't check Lenardi. I know it's very, very early, but
It is.
They got cushion, Charlie.
How good's the ACC? I guess is my point.
It's not as good as it usually is.
No.
So, you just saw what the SEC did. Keep in mind, those games are split. Half of them are on the road, half are on the road. That's why it's usually so close.
Yeah.
Because usually the home teams have such a big advantage there because they kind of match them up. They try and put the top teams with the top teams, the middle teams with the middle teams, the bottom. And so the home court usually prevails 75% of the time, but not this year. So, no, they can't afford to be near 500 in the ACC. Let's just say that.
The SEC against the ACC, they played 34 games here in the non-conference.
30?
34.
30 and 4?
30 and 4. The SEC to the ACC. Feels like football. Just saying.
No, that was, 2 games that could have gone the other way.
I know the game was in Columbia, but worst team in the SEC, top 4 team in the ACC, Clemson, top 4.
Duke is the best. Yeah. Pitt and Carolina next, and maybe Clemson second, but top 4 for sure. So anywhere from second to 4th or 5th.
Yeah, and you lost.
Don't forget our friends over at Total Maintenance. It's a tough place to play, man.
It is.
That game. I'd take any points in that one. One of the oldest and largest locally owned home and business services in the Baton Rouge area. Total Maintenance. We've even extended our service down in the New Orleans area. My buddy Corey Johnson, you'll see him on Year View doing his show. Veteran talk show host down in the New Orleans area, pumping up our friends over at Total Maintenance. My buddy Lucas Ragusa, and Lucas and I have worked and partnered up with the different services for years and years. So AC heating, generator installations, maintenance, service today, every day means you call today, you get service today. That's right. Factory authorized dealers for Carrier, American Standard, Daikin, and Rheem products. Authorized dealer for Generac and Cummings generators. Total Maintenance, again, the membership programs cover all services with discounts and extended warranties. We know when it's time for your unit to be served, so you don't have to worry about it. Hey, in a heater, getting ready to work those heaters. You started working those heaters, smell a little something, man. Get your heating safety check. We're also going to clean your AC unit. Make sure that it's done. Get it out the way now so we know that it's clean. It's going to be running at its optimum when we get into warmer months as well. That's going to keep your monthly bills lower, and it's also going to extend the length of your unit as well. Both win-win situations. And it's normally $179. It's $79 if you mention my name. Normally, heating AC check, normally $179, just $79 if you mention Jimmy Ott 104.5. Total Maintenance, 480-1000, 480-1000.
Live at Modesto, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny from Modesto on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
All right, let's go to the Rocky Mountains. Talk to our buddy Randy McKay. Randy, we'll be off the next two. No, we're working Christmas Eve, right, Charlie? That's right, a little bit later.
We're not working Christmas Eve.
I mean, sorry, New Year's Eve. I meant to say.
We all work on New Year's Eve.
I'm all over the place, big dog.
But New Year's Day is on a Wednesday.
Jeez.
Come on,
So
man.
we're not working Christmas or New Year. We're not working the next two Wednesdays, is what I'm trying to tell Randy.
That's correct.
And Randy, I will be in touch, and we'll try and get your segment in an earlier day. How are you, sir? Help me out. Tell me what day it is, Randy.
I'm doing well. I'm bouncing around, too. I'm actually in the Great Plains of North Dakota after going to the Monday night game there in Minneapolis. And
This holiday, BMW has reunited 3 members of the family at the BMW Road Home Sales Event. The Agile X3, engineered for any adventure. The plug-in hybrid X5, commanding the streets with unmatched presence. And the all-electric i4, charging into the future with impeccable performance. Hurry in to find what powers your journey at the BMW Road Home Sales Event. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Visit Valley BMW Center today for attractive lease and finance offers.
All right, we're all set for the party. I've trimmed the tree, hung the mistletoe, and paired all those weird-shaped knives and forks with the appropriate cheeses. And I plugged in the Bartesian.
Bartesian?
It's a home cocktail maker that makes over 60 premium cocktails, plus a whole lot of seasonal favorites, too. I just got it for 50 off. So, how about a Cosmopolitan or a mistletoe margarita?
I'm thirsty.
Watch. I just pop in a capsule, choose my strength, and...
Wow, it's beginning to feel more seasonal in here already.
If your holiday party doesn't have a bartender, then you become the bartender. Unless you've got a Bartesian, because Bartesian crafts every cocktail perfectly in as little as 30 seconds. And I just got it for $50 off.
'Tis the season to be jollier.
Add some holiday flavor to every celebration with the sleek, sophisticated home cocktail maker, Bartesian. Get $50 off any cocktail maker at bartesian.com/cocktail. That's BARTESIAN.com/cocktail.
came back over to North Dakota here and waiting to get back to Colorado and hopefully have a better week this week and get it going with the picks.
Well, had a little dip last week. You hit us with the Rams. They ran outright. You had told us, well, open up a teaser with that. That helped out. And then Pittsburgh, Detroit, and Seattle that was a Geno Smith sighting again in Seattle. Look, in Detroit, we knew they were already banged up to begin with. Now, I mean, losing that many more players. And I got to tell you, Randy, George Pickens makes a big difference. And he's a knucklehead. We know that. But, man, he can play. And, man, he's just – you take a weapon. They're not this – they're not an offense that can absorb to take away a guy that's kind of dictating coverages. If you don't show them a special attention, I mean, Wilson has made them pay. So I kind of watched that game unfold a little bit the way I expected. But you know what? Last time you had a little dip, I ain't gonna tell you. That's knocking on wood there, big dog. But let's get it going. So you do a big week.
Yeah, and that Pittsburgh game kind of, they were right there till that Najee Harris bobbled that pitch, and that pretty much was the big turning point in that game, and as far as a spread issue, and then Philly's offense took over, and of course we all know Mike Tomlin, not the best strategy coach there, punting the ball there and not ever getting it back, so that wasn't a good move by him either. But I see some value in them this week. In fact, that's one of my picks is the Steelers. I advise wait for the injury report on Pickens and on T.J. Watt, both questionable. They're coming off this tough loss to Philly, but they did beat this Raven team 18-16 last time they played. It was a field goal type game. Now they got the better field goal kicker, and can Baltimore win this game, by margin? I don't know about that. They could win by margin against New York Giants, but this is a different team here, the Steeler team, especially, like I said, with the injury report before. So I see this being another close slobber knocker game in the rivalry, so I'm favoring the Steelers a little bit. Plus a 6.5, I guess it is.
We're seeing some sixes, minus 105. I got to check around. There's some 6.5s out there as well. So Steelers to bounce back and be competitive. But what's that stat with the dog? His covered. I mean, these games always are very tight.
The Steelers have won 8 of 9 in the series. You're right.
The dog
is covered. Yeah, almost all of those games have been closed.
I mean, first game 18-16.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just every single time it seems like that dog is and unlike some more historical these two organizations. Well, I kind of throw out. Give the last 10 years with the Saints. Man, they got different players, different things. These two teams, Randy. They have so much continuity and stability with the coaches, with the style of players that I think and then their familiarity with each other. I think that I put a little bit more value on these historical trends.
Yeah, definitely. With these two teams, what is the old adage? Throw out the records. This is going to be a close one. We see that a lot in rivalry games, and you kind of got to pick out. Which ones you like the best in these spots, and I see this as one of them. The Steelers. I could see a full effort here.
Who else you got, Randy, this week?
Well, I'll go back to the teaser well here since the line dipped a little bit on me. I'll take the Broncos plus 8.5. They're on a Thursday night. They're traveling over to the Chargers there in L.A.
Right.
This line came down from 3 to 2.5. We gave out the Chargers when they played in Denver. That was a pretty easy win, but these two teams have, really have changed since that first game. And I definitely could see the Broncos hanging in there, maybe even getting the outright victory. So getting them up to the 8.5, and then I'm going to go against, they bench Winston here, so going against this DTR at quarterback, teasing down the Cincinnati Bengals, still playing very good offensive football, and their defense a little bit more opportunistic. It's been a poor defense all year, but they have been getting some turnovers lately, so I could see them giving DTR and that Cleveland Brown wreck of a team some trouble here and covering the 1.5 on a tease down.
Yes, they had a pick six. Oh, well, the guy decided to drop the ball before he got to goal line. So anyway, but 10 turnovers with the most combined turnovers, 6 by Tennessee, 4 by Cincinnati in like 35 years. So it was really, really ugly. But yes, they at least being opportunistic for that when they've won 2 in a row, so we'll see. But yeah, the Browns with Winston, 6 interceptions last 3 games. So, Charlie, is he done?
He's not done as a backup
you
quarterback.
Don't think so?
Jameis is still, I think, a valuable backup quarterback because he's like the pinch hitter coming off the bench and drive one out of the park. He might strike out 6 times in a row, but he can still hit the ball out of the park. I think he's still a backup quarterback in the league.
He's being benched as a backup now.
Yeah, but he'll find a spot in the league. There are worse backup quarterbacks around the league than Jameis. You can't ever trust him as a starter. You can bring him in.
You think Boyle is stronger than Jameis?
I do not.
Randy, who else you looking at?
Yeah, there's some ugly quarterbacks in there. I'm surprised. I don't know, is Ryan Tannehill pretty much done, or is he ever going to come back? I'm surprised he's not on somebody's team, but we'll see what happens there. My third pick here, back to the basics here with the Carolina Panthers getting 4.5 at home. Last week was a role reversal. I stayed off them. I've been on this team, but them moving to a favorite I thought was a bad spot. Probably should have recommended to you guys to take the Dallas Cowboys, but that was a tough pick as well. But them getting 4.5 now against an Arizona team, it's kind of a look-ahead game, and they got to travel across to the East Coast. They got big games coming up at the LA Rams and San Fran on deck. I think Bryce Young and company here will bounce back, at least make this exciting game between these two teams. You know, Arizona's defense is nothing to brag home about, so I could see this being a close game, Chuba Hubbard having a big game and keeping it close for us to get another cover with the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, if Arizona, what if they win a three-way tie? Who's going to win that division between Arizona, Seattle, and the Rams? Seattle beat the Rams. Seattle beat the Cardinals, both swept the Cardinals. Arizona would need to win. That would be a sweep over the Rams. I mean,
Arizona's conference record is 3-6.
But division, no, a three-way tie for the division.
Right. So then don't you go to conference record?
I'm trying to see if it's all going to be tied for the division. You know, with those three. So
they could be. If they are, Arizona's in a bind because they got a 3-6 conference record.
Okay, the secondary tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Randy, did you see UC Davis? I waited around. It got 7 in first and goal, but at about the 5-yard line, he throws the pick, huh?
Yeah, I had really bad turnover luck in my picks last week, and that one was really bad. They were right in there with 6 turnovers in that game, and very frustrating. But if we want to go back to the FCS card here, for some reason they're betting South Dakota State coming into Fargo here to play the Bison. Bison beat them earlier this season. It's up to 3 a lot of places, so I'd recommend taking the Bison here. A buddy of mine likes Montana State, but that kind of moved off the 7. Now a lot of 8s out there, but should be some good games there, and there's some good games in the college bowls and the FC and the playoffs there as well. So it's going to be a fun weekend.
North Dakota State plus a 3.5 on Saturday at 11 a.m.
Is that game? South Dakota State has won back-to-back titles, and North Dakota State's won 10 overall. I think has won the most.
Why is North Dakota State the home team if they're not the higher seed?
North Dakota State beat South Dakota State last year. That's why they're the home team. They got the higher seed.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 2 versus 3.
But okay, 2 and 3 seed. All right, okay, and in Montana State -8 against South Dakota. Where are you going for Christmas, man?
I will be in hopefully some nice warm weather in Phoenix, Arizona. They're visiting my brother's family there in Gold Canyon, Arizona area there, so should be kind of nice. Maybe you can get a little golf in.
Maybe a little oyster dressing, seafood stuffed melitons, huh?
In Arizona?
The gumbo.
Probably not.
Randy. But look, when my buddy comes down here, South Louisiana, he attacks the South Louisiana cuisine. Huh, Randy?
As you should.
Oh, yeah, it's great stuff. I recommend that to anybody that visit you guys. You guys got great food down there.
Hey, Randy, happy holidays. But listen, I'll be in touch so we can adjust our schedule so we can get you. We definitely want your picks as part of the show. So, Merry Christmas, safe travels, brother. Enjoy the weather down in Arizona.
Happy holidays to you guys as well, and good luck everybody out there.
All right, Randy. That is Randy McKay at RR39, at RR39. Our friends at Legacy Title, Chad Reynolds at Legacy Title for all of your real estate closings, 296-0060. Full-service title company servicing all of South Louisiana. Fast, friendly, professional service is what you get every time you call 296-0060. Chad Reynolds and Legacy Title. Ashley Donald, Mariana Haynes, Adrian Galata, Michael Platt, that great team at Legacy Title. What's just yo and yours? A Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays.
Live at Modesto, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Modesto on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Back here at Modesto, live at lunch, enjoying lunch on the patio here today. Great day if you're still in Baton Rouge. A lot of students are gone, of course, with the semester being over. But come on over here at Modesto, and they got some cool stuff coming up here for Christmas.
Yeah, so it's our the Go Eat Concepts Christmas table exclusively at Roca. You could choose a bundle or select individual items ready to heat and serve in under 2 hours. I got a bundle for Thanksgiving, and I've gotten some holiday catered food from Tom. This was really, really good. So it's all refrigerated, so you can heat it and, have it ready all at the same time. So we're doing a little bit different. Doing a smoked turkey breast, but also for Christmas, we're doing smoked brisket bundle, prime rib, smoked pulled pork bundle, the sides, mac and cheese, Brussels sprouts, meatballs, potatoes au gratin. Potatoes au gratin were off the charts, man. And the sweet potato casserole was really, really good. Spinach and artichoke dip, Italian chopped pasta salad. So today's the 18th. You can order now through December 21st. You just go to their website. It's really easy. And then when you show up at Roca, they have it outside. They have the refrigerated truck. They have somebody with with checking off your names. It's all labeled. It is easy peasy. And again, I like that it's refrigerated, so it comes out fresh and warm, hot, all at the same time. So highly suggested. I did it for Thanksgiving. I'm going to do it again for Christmas. It's the Go Eat Concepts Christmas table at Roca. Again, order December 21st. Pickup is Christmas Eve at Roca on Government Street.
One of the better stories in college football this year was how Washington State was able to maintain with the dissolving of the Pac-12 and seemingly everything going against them. They got to an 8-4 record. They have gotten decimated in the transfer portal. They lost 23 kids, including their starting quarterback, John Mateer, who is either the first number one or number two player in the portal. They also lost their number one tackle on the team, who looked like he was going to the NFL draft and put himself in the portal on Monday evening, was going to be a second-day pick in the NFL draft, trying to come back and move himself into the first round. Yesterday, they lost their coach. Jake Dickert is now going to Wake Forest. It took Wake Forest less than 24 hours after Dave Clawson announced his resignation. So Washington State looking for a coach as well as a bunch of players. They're in the Holiday Bowl, what's left of them against Syracuse. That line continues to climb. Syracuse is a 12-point favorite now. But Washington State held it together for a year.
Held together for about 2/3 of the season.
Charlie. They did fade
or
at
maybe
the end.
75% of the season. They beat Washington in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
With the goal line stance there. They blew out Texas Tech by 21. They lost by 21 to Boise State, but that was it. They won a close one against Fresno State, against San Diego State. But at the end, losing to New Mexico, Oregon State, and Wyoming, and Oregon State wasn't good this year. That's 3 bad losses. So you wonder about their thin roster. They've got the wear and tear of the season caught up with them. It was a nice story for a while, but they're 8-4. I mean, yeah, they exceeded their win total, but really limping into the bowl game.
Oh,
and now even worse.
Are they supposed to be the class of that new, Mountain West Pac-12, the composite when they put that together? Them in Oregon State? Are they supposed to be?
I don't know who else is
probably the old Mountain West, essentially.
Yes.
Yeah,
but not much.
No. They got to rebuild. Hour number 2 coming straight ahead here from Modesto, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Modesto on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Enjoying the outdoor patio here at Modesto. Wes Reynolds and Scott Rabelais be with us a little bit later on in the hour. Come on by and see us for lunch. And don't forget about the Christmas table. Great concept, Go Eat Concepts, with the Christmas table here at Modesto. Michael Penix is the new starting quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons. They put out a statement. I thought that was a little bit odd. Usually when you make quarterback changes, a coach who meets with the media multiple times a week will say, we're going to make a change. Or sometimes they'll keep the media in the dark altogether. Not only did the Falcons announce this, not only did they announce it earlier in the week, they put out a statement. After review, we've made the decision that Michael Penix will be the Falcons starting quarterback. This is a football decision, fully focused on preparing the team for Sunday's game against the Giants. So there's a lot of layers here. First of all, the Falcons are very much in playoff contention. They're a game behind the Buccaneers. They own the tiebreaker in the division. Even if that doesn't work out.
So basically they're half game back.
And they are a game back of whoever doesn't win the.
But they have a favorable schedule too.
Yeah, whoever doesn't win the South, the West. Their game back of Seattle or L.A. and they've got the same record as the Cardinals, so they're right there, and they've got as favorable a schedule as you could possibly ask for at this point. They play the Giants and the Panthers among two of their last three games. The middle game is against the Commanders, but I mean, there's two wins in there. They are, in fact, they've gone. It's up over a touchdown this week's spread against the Giants. The Giants are actively trying to lose, but then the Falcons just played the other team that's actively trying to lose, and the Raiders. And absolutely bent over backwards to keep Las Vegas in the game on Monday night. Jimmy, we talked about this game on Tuesday. Atlanta was absolutely terrified to let Kirk Cousins put the ball in the air.
Yeah.
A veteran quarterback trying to put the game away, a game you need, a game the Raiders don't need, a third down and 4 that you get bailed out on a ticky-tack roughing the passer penalty. A third down and 6 where you got Ray McLeod coming out of the backfield. This is a simple throw for really any quarterback, much less one with Cousins' experience. He throws it behind him. They got to get out of this. So they think that Michael Penix, who's got just a handful of reps in games,
a bunch of bad throws the last few weeks.
Oh
Not just
man,
that one. It was deflected. It was defended by the linebacker too, who's got really good instincts. Who got called for a bogus, the bogus thing. But it's not just that. Yes, Spillane. Not just that. But I mean the 50-50 goes, the gray area calls that we all like to debate and see what the robot is saying in the analytics and all that. And man, they were punting. Whether it's a long field goal, a punt, or go for it. I mean, they were punting, and they were not going to. They were overly cautious with their whole approach, and they just didn't think that the Raiders were. They didn't want to beat themselves, and they pretty much were right. But we were wrong on draft night. What? What pick was Penix again?
8.
The 8th pick for a backup quarterback? We were wrong. Yeah. $50 million a year for a backup quarterback?
This holiday, BMW has reunited 3 members of the family at the BMW Road Home Sales Event. The Agile X3, engineered for any adventure. The plug-in hybrid X5, commanding the streets with unmatched presence. And the all-electric i4, charging into the future with impeccable performance. Hurry in to find what powers your journey at the BMW Road Home Sales Event. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Visit the Valley BMW Center today for attractive lease and finance offers.
All right, we're all set for the party. I've trimmed the tree, hung the mistletoe, and paired all those weird-shaped knives and forks with the appropriate cheeses. And I plugged in the Bartesian.
Bartesian?
It's a home cocktail maker that makes over 60 premium cocktails, plus a whole lot of seasonal favorites, too. I just got it for $50 off. So, how about a Cosmopolitan or a mistletoe margarita?
I'm thirsty.
Watch. I just pop in a capsule, choose my strength, and...
Wow, it's beginning to feel more seasonal in here already.
If your holiday party doesn't have a bartender, then you become the bartender. Unless you've got a Bartesian, because Bartesian crafts every cocktail perfectly in as little as 30 seconds. And I just got it for $50 off.
'Tis the season to be jollier.
Add some holiday flavor to every celebration with the sleek, sophisticated home cocktail maker, Bartesian. Get $50 off any cocktail maker at bartesian.com/cocktail. That's BARTESIAN.com/cocktail.
That's what it was, huh?
For
Cousins.
180 over 4 years, yeah.
Okay, 180, no, 45. I'm sorry, 45 million a year.
Right.
45.
And
45, 180 million
or
for a backup
or a first-round pick for a backup a quarterback when you've got buku needs in a division that's there to be won.
Carl, I'm being silly. What I'm saying is, I mean, here it is, and you said it yesterday. I'm simply Penix. It might be at one point. Penix was probably considered. Okay, let's just tank. And there's been that conversation about the Falcons. I think that's crazy when you're one game away from advancing to the playoffs. You're not tanking one win away. But mean, until Monday, and he threw another pick on Monday. One TD and 8 interceptions. That's terrible. With a team that has some weapons, with a team that has a running game, a 1-2 punch at running game. That it's no excuses. And the only thing I can say is that here's a guy that remember the Thursday night game against Atlanta. Against Tampa Bay, he lit him up.
He did.
He lit him up. That was a shootout, man. Him and Baker were unbelievable in that game. The injury should have been at his age, should have hurt him for that one. What is going on?
Nothing that the Falcons have done about this makes sense. And if Michael Penix takes them to the playoffs and does well and is their starting quarterback going forward, it still would not have made sense to do everything they did. You want to draft Michael Penix as a quarterback at the 8th pick in the draft, that's fine. You don't sign Kirk Cousins, okay? You want to sign Kirk Cousins to be your quarterback, that's fine. Don't draft Michael Penix. The two moves together do not make sense, right. Okay? So it's one or the other. But this is a September move. At the very latest, an October move for most teams trying to break in rookie quarterbacks. I can't remember, outside of an injury forcing somebody's hand, a team in playoff contention this late in the season knowingly replacing a veteran quarterback with a guy who's thrown 5 passes. And I'm not saying it's the wrong move either.
You've seen a veteran struggle like this? Tell me another where the veteran has struggled like this.
I'm trying to remember when Baltimore replaced Flacco with Lamar. It was a lot earlier in the season than this, but it wasn't from jump. I want to say it was in October in Jackson's rookie year.
Cousins at Washington, Minnesota, they won one playoff game or none?
I thought it was one.
I think it's one. Yeah. He's just, it was against the Saints, the Superdome.
That's right.
And
the push off in the end zone.
Mm-hmm. But he's always been productive. You look at the end of the year, man, he's thrown for all thousands of yards, and he's always in the top 5.
He's been a very competent fantasy quarterback.
Yeah, he's just a fantasy dream guy. He's going to put up yards, he's going to throw. But, is he making a big play at the right time? He's lining up under the guard, in San Francisco in a tight situation. Leaving you. Just kind of can't get to that hump, but always productive. And this year, he's not even productive. And I'm sorry, but they desperately need some personnel. And that's the odd thing. The defense is playing better. The defense played great against the Chargers, held them to under 200 yards. It was Cousins in finding ways to lose this game. They won the game for him on Monday night. The Raiders understand that offensive line is terrible too, but that was the defense. They finally went prevent and gave up some yards and gave themselves more of a scare than they needed to. Had they run the offense, the defense, if they run the whole game, they're not even getting one first down max. The Raiders are dead, and so it's just an odd deal, man. That's going on now. The thing about Penix may benefit in the long run, because we're always talking about the patience. And Troy Aikman said, man, I don't know if I'd have made it to my second contract with they rushing guys in there and the rush to judgment and things like that. He was 0 for his first 15.
They were 1-15 his rookie year.
And he didn't start that game. Steve Walsh did against the Redskins, I promise you.
I believe
okay.
It.
And so
I remember him in the Superdome against what was a really good Saints defense. Saints beat him 28-0.
Yeah, he was a rookie quarterback.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, and they were rebuilding.
It was a bad team.
Yes, but they Manning threw for 28 interceptions his first year. But Penix, he waited. He can observe, and I think he can observe, and it eases you in there, and you're more prepared just being around a little bit. And so I think he might be better off because of it.
If I'm a Falcons fan, I'm pretty steamed, because everything you just said about Penix is true, and all of this could have been accomplished if they'd have left Taylor Heineke as a starting quarterback waiting for Penix to come in and get his turn. They didn't have to go out and spend this outlandish amount of money.
Get that guy from UCLA to put on defense, something like that.
Yes, exactly. You could have done all of that and not be – it's going to cost them – it depends. I'm not going to bore you with all the contract details, but it's going to cost them somewhere in the area of $50 million to $70 million in dead cap money, depending on how they want to allocate it this year, next year, post June 1st cuts and all that stuff. You could have done all of this, okay, What did Rain say? Ryan Tannehill, who's sitting on his couch. Okay, you could have got him for free. There's any number of quarterbacks that you could have picked up for nothing. Essentially nothing, to hold a seat warm for Penix if that was your plan. You didn't have to go spend $180 million. And I'll quit with this: the last three of the last big money contracts for veteran quarterbacks, Russell Wilson, Kirk Cousins, and Derek Carr. Denver moved on. Atlanta moved on in even a bigger hurry because they will release Cousins probably after the season. Depends on how they want to do it. And now Carr, who the Saints are clinging to and gave a contract extension to. Mickey, it's time to retire, bub. Need some new blood in there, man. Need some new fresh ideas.
Our friends over at United Community Bank, the local way to bank big, with locations from Baton Rouge to Golden Meadow, including their newest branch in Burbank and Blue Bond. The people are serving the people of Southern Louisiana for over 50 years. At United Community Bank, your business is our business. We support the hard-working folks behind local business, from initial startup loans to ongoing planning and assessments. United Community Bank is here for you. Prentice Wilkes, Heath Meir, Nicole Glover, Hunter Creed, David Campbell, David Henry. Great team over at United Community Bank wants to wish you and yours Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays.
Live from Modesto, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
From east, north to south, but we're heading west. It's Wes Reynolds from VSiN.
And we return here at Modesto, Burbank at Nicholson. Come on over and join us for lunch here. We're on the patio enjoying the nice weather. Not necessarily holiday weather, just
70s,
nice weather.
Clear and 70 over here in South Louisiana.
Drink umbrella in the margarita.
Wes, you getting ready for game night Friday night, huh, buddy?
Yeah, it's going to be in the 20s where I'm going to be in South Bend on Friday night. So, trying to prepare what gear I need to take. And if I even have an IU coat, I have a lightweight jacket. I don't know if that's going to be warm enough. But, look, I'm willing to freeze, man. This is the college football playoff, and Indiana is here. It almost seems real.
How'd you score your ticket, Wes?
Yeah.
This holiday, BMW has reunited 3 members of the family at the BMW Road Home Sales Event. The Agile X3, engineered for any adventure. The plug-in hybrid X5, commanding the streets with unmatched presence. And the all-electric i4, charging into the future with impeccable performance. Hurry in to find what powers your journey at the BMW Road Home Sales Event. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Visit Valley BMW Center today for attractive lease and finance offers.
All right, we're all set for the party. I've trimmed the tree, hung the mistletoe, and paired all those weird-shaped knives and forks with the appropriate cheeses. And I plugged in the Bartesian.
Bartesian?
It's a home cocktail maker that makes over 60 premium cocktails, plus a whole lot of seasonal favorites, too. I just got it for $50 off. So, how about a Cosmopolitan or a mistletoe margarita?
I'm thirsty.
Watch. I just pop in a capsule, choose my strength, and...
Wow, it's beginning to feel more seasonal in here already.
If your holiday party doesn't have a bartender, then you become the bartender. Unless you've got a Bartesian, because Bartesian crafts every cocktail perfectly in as little as 30 seconds. And I just got it for $50 off.
'Tis the season to be jollier.
Add some holiday flavor to every celebration with the sleek, sophisticated home cocktail maker, Bartesian. Get $50 off any cocktail maker at bartesian.com/cocktail. That's BARTESIAN.com/cocktail.
How'd you score your ticket?
Just bought it. Just bought it. I didn't get the good seats that our buddy Indiana Jet Rob Brandt, the former Circus Survivor winner, got, because he's had to suffer as a season ticket holder for almost 40 years. So he gets the better seats, but I'm in the stadium, and that's all that matters.
And 3,500, is that what you told me? Is that accurate? The allotment? That is not much for the visiting team.
That's what the season ticket holders got for this. The higher priority points, and obviously longevity plays into that. But there's going to be more than 3,500 people in that stadium wearing.
I don't think there's any doubt about that. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
So then you got players' comp tickets, the administration,
they might have
3,500.
5,500 total, something like that.
Yeah.
For, Indiana's allotment. Not just
if it's 3,500 to season ticket holders, and you got team, you got administration. I don't know.
another 1,000 or two.
Your guess is as good as mine. I don't
know.
I would have thought 10%. That's about what SEC teams give road teams. It's 9 or 10% of the stadium.
We're a lot more benevolent in the SEC, though, Charlie.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Tell it to the band that had to sit in the clouds over at Texas.
Well, that was before they got in the league. So let's see how they act now, since they've had such rough treatment, coming into this new league. Let's break it down, Wes. Give me your thoughts. I mean, listen, one thing about Notre Dame is, Riley Leonard was uncomfortable with this new supporting cast early on. Even in the A&M win, it was really ugly throwing the ball. And then, he's kind of found that happy medium. He's still going to run. Man, he's a poor man's Tim Tebow, if you will, and he's still going to run, and he's a really tough guy, and they got a good running game, but he is they kind of got that comfortable mix, that run and pass balance there where he's not going to carry you with his arm, but just the right type of mix. We know about defense that they have, and we have to see. Indiana's looked really good against a weaker competition. They've looked really good and tight with their execution, but then they kind of it was a good first half, minus them kind of doing some uncharacteristic things in the punt game that put them behind, and that's not a team that could come from behind against a team like Ohio State. But just the whole matchup, how you see it?
Yeah, and Riley Leonard, who you mentioned, that's going to be the interesting challenge, because this is the first, I think, real running quarterback that Indiana has played. They played some guys with mobility. Raiola and Howard certainly have some mobility, but Riley Leonard, they do design runs for him. But that's where Indiana, I think, has probably been best defensively, is against the run. Even that Ohio State game that went poorly for the Hoosiers, I thought that defensive line in the front seven, by and large, held up. Before Henderson broke that late run when the game was essentially over and Indiana selling out the run as Ohio State's just trying to run the clock, they had them under 90 yards. And this is Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson and a bunch of five-star guys on that offense, and they held that running game at bay. So I think Indiana on that side of the ball can hold up physically. Now, can the offensive line hold up? It did not hold up against Ohio State. Curtis Rourke did not have any time. The running backs were failing to pick up blitzes. So they've got to be a lot better, and I think that they will this time around. I think Indiana is going to have an opportunity, though, to make the plays in the passing game if Rourke is going to get protected, because you can throw a little bit on Notre Dame. Now you look at the defensive stats. That was against lower competition, to be fair. So you can take some shots, some play action down the field. Irish have had some injuries there in the secondary, so I think Indiana is going to hang in here. I did take 7.5. Part of it was I don't want to have a bet on the other team when I'm in the damn stands for the game. But, I think Indiana can hang here. I think that there's a belief and that they belong here, and they're kind of the discounted team, I think, of all teams that are in the round. Maybe SMU too, but I think Indiana is really being the most discounted team, and they're there to show that they can compete in this the biggest game in program history, and I think they're going to be ready Friday night.
I thought they were ready against, because if these things happened at the beginning of the game up in Columbus, would have been. But man, the biggest thing they happened, toward the end of the first half and the beginning of the second half was the big gaffes. But I'm worried about, and man, they couldn't have come out any stronger. Get a 3-0 stop, three and out stop, and they take it 70 yards for a touchdown. But it's what happened the rest of the game offensively that has me concerned. 151 total yards for the game. It's 300 below their average at that time coming into the game. So I'm just wondering if some of these offensive numbers were piled up against inferior defenses. I don't know if Notre Dame has Ohio State's defense, but they have a good one.
Whatever the adventure, there's a BMW engineered to take it on. The X3 delivers a striking design with agile performance. The 100% electric i4 packed with pure electric energy. Or the plug-in hybrid X5, an impressive versatile SUV granting full control on every journey. Choose what powers your next adventure during the BMW Road Home Sales Event. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Hurry in for exceptional offers through January 2nd. Visit BMWUSA.com for details.
All right, we're all set for the party. I've trimmed the tree, hung the mistletoe, and paired all those weird-shaped knives and forks with the appropriate cheeses. And I plugged in the Bartesian.
Bartesian?
It's a home cocktail maker that makes over 60 premium cocktails, plus a whole lot of seasonal favorites, too. I just got it for 50 off. So, how about a Cosmopolitan or a mistletoe margarita?
I'm thirsty.
Watch. I just pop in a capsule, choose my strength, and...
Wow, it's beginning to feel more seasonal in here already.
If your holiday party doesn't have a bartender, then you become the bartender. Unless you've got a Bartesian, because Bartesian crafts every cocktail perfectly in as little as 30 seconds. And I just got it for $50 off.
'Tis the season to be jollier.
Add some holiday flavor to every celebration with the sleek, sophisticated home cocktail maker, Bartesian. Get $50 off any cocktail maker at bartesian.com/cocktail. That's BARTESIAN.com/cocktail.
Yeah, they certainly do. And to your point, where they came out, I thought Ohio State was maybe the more nervy team of the two in that matchup in November. But I think when Indiana made a couple mistakes, because it had been smooth sailing, where they had just rolled over everybody. And there's something psychological when you've never been in that position before. When you make a mistake, the drop punt snap that put Ohio State on like the 7, they score immediately going into halftime. And when you haven't been in that situation, maybe there's something mentally that they didn't know how to handle it. Now, I think that they'll be better equipped to handle adversity Friday night because of that game. But they hadn't had a lot of adversity. It's just you can't make the mistake. You can't make the mistake. You're already at a challenge, getting a little bit over 7 points here, so you're the clear underdog. You can't make special teams mistakes. Those are the type of things that kill you in these days.
Any of the other 3 games that you like Assad? All lines are over a touchdown.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm doing yet with SMU and Penn State. I think maybe we did a good performance out of Penn State. Market's still pretty low on them because they just haven't won a lot of the big games, but there is one favorite that I like, and it's now to 12. I like Texas. I know there's a lot of people out there that like Clemson here, where it's like, hey, they just got in, Dabo's got him in, and he's been here before, but I really think Clemson's going to struggle to run the ball. They struggle to run the ball against SMU. What are they going to do against Texas? And Texas, I think, is maybe out for a little bit of blood, just the way that the season ended, and Georgia put the kid Stockton in, and I think Texas was a little bit caught off guard with a running quarterback, and they just found a way to lose to Georgia again. So I expect a big performance out of the Longhorns. I think they win pretty much going away over Clemson.
Well, tell me this. I mean, we talked about schedules. It is what it is. I mean, look, Billy Napier's got better wins in 2/3 of the field in his 12-team bracket. But, I mean, they've got bad losses along the way with some of the teams that were in the contention. We all know that. We've been through it before. But this is a light crew as far as quality wins coming up for the 12 teams participating in his first 12-team playoff. But so sort of being untested. And look, SMU, the schedule fell like that. I mean, SMU, Clemson, Miami, and 5 Notre Dame games, nobody played each other until Charlotte in the conference championship game. See, SMU kind of got off to one of those big stage, kind of nervous, stage too big for them. When it settled in, it sure looked like they were the better team, and Clemson hung on to win. I think the same thing with Texas. I think Texas is going to benefit from that experience in Atlanta against Georgia, who's way more seasoned. And, I mean, who's been in more big games with the current roster than what their roster has done right now. I think Texas got a shot to make a run for this whole thing. I think their defense is going to be really good. I think Texas and SMU will benefit. I'm considering both of them this week, Wes.
Yeah, I think that they're going to be prepared here, Texas. The defense, they're one of the best defenses in the country. So I just think Clemson, if they can't run the ball, they're going to get behind the chains and, Kate Klubnik's going to have to put that ball up for grabs, and Texas can turn you over. Texas actually probably would be my pick to win the thing right now. And I know that they're not getting a lot as much consideration, certainly as Oregon or even Ohio State at that top end of the bracket. But, you know, I think Texas actually, in terms of their draw, when you look at it going forward, I think they actually benefited from the loss. They get by Clemson.
Yeah.
They go to ASU. I think that that's a winnable game, as good of a story as ASU has been, and Cam Scatterbo's had an awesome year. I think that this sets up very nicely for the Longhorns.
I like them as well. I really do, and I'm not in the business of what's that, Charlie?
I'm the dissenting vote here.
You're taking the points.
I don't trust Texas's offense. 20 points against Arkansas, 17 against A&M, 19 against Georgia, and you're going to give me a dozen? I'm going the other way. I don't trust Texas defense. No arguments there. I just think it's too many points.
When's the last time somebody outgained Georgia by that time in a stretch of the game? Huh?
Yards are fine. Where's my points?
Yeah. Well, that's part of.
If they counted yards, man, we'd be hitting about 90% of our ways.
Yeah.
Man.
It's been a long time since Georgia got handled like they did. Yes, they didn't put up the points, but they haven't been in these games before. So we'll see. We'll see. But I think their roster is as good as anybody in the country. Who are we looking at in the NFL this week, Wes?
Yeah, let's do what we usually do, even though it hasn't worked.
This holiday, BMW has reunited 3 members of the family at the BMW Road Home Sales Event. The Agile X3, engineered for any adventure. The plug-in hybrid X5, commanding the streets with unmatched presence. And the all-electric i4, charging into the future with impeccable performance. Hurry in to find what powers your journey at the BMW Road Home Sales Event. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Visit the Valley BMW Center today for attractive lease and finance offers.
All right, we're all set for the party. I've trimmed the tree, hung the mistletoe, and paired all those weird-shaped knives and forks with the appropriate cheeses. And I plugged in the Bartesian.
Bartesian?
It's a home cocktail maker that makes over 60 premium cocktails, plus a whole lot of seasonal favorites, too. I just got it for $50 off. So, how about a Cosmopolitan or a mistletoe margarita?
I'm thirsty.
Watch. I just pop in a capsule, choose my strength, and...
Wow, it's beginning to feel more seasonal in here already.
If your holiday party doesn't have a bartender, then you become the bartender. Unless you've got a Bartesian, because Bartesian crafts every cocktail perfectly in as little as 30 seconds. And I just got it for $50 off.
'Tis the season to be jollier.
Add some holiday flavor to every celebration with the sleek, sophisticated home cocktail maker, Bartesian. Get $50 off any cocktail maker at bartesian.com/cocktail. That's BARTESIAN.com/cocktail.
Week basis. Let's go with the underdog, and let's go with the New York Football Jets getting 3.5 against the Los Angeles Rams. Rams, of course, big win over the weekend. Now 8-6. Seattle loses, of course, and we don't know if Geno Smith's going to go for them. So all of a sudden, the Rams look to be a little bit, slightly in the catbird seat, I would say, in the NFC West. But tough game. I think Jets got to win at Jacksonville. So, like, when you get a win late in the season, that gives you a little bit of confidence sometimes going forward into the next week. So, New York Jets plus 3.5 so far, my best play, but haven't made a lot of bets as of yet this week in the NFL just because of the injury factors that we have seen. So, now the Chiefs are back out to 3-point favorites because Mahomes is practicing. Apparently, he is going to go. So, going to stay out of that game. But kind of lean a little bit Thursday night, too, even though the Broncos getting the money. I think that they've been very, very fortunate, and I think maybe the Chargers, that could be a buy low spot for Thursday night football.
All right, Wes. The linebacker is a great pregame spot. We did our show back when LSU played there. Oh, gosh, that was the 90s, huh, Charlie?
98.
Yeah, I think it's.
Craig
I think Tim
game.
Murray still said it's there.
Yeah, Herb Tyler got hurt. Craig Nall had to come in and play in that game.
Yeah, Kevin Falk almost returned to kickoff for a touchdown. A lot of good stuff in South Bend. Travel safely, man. I know you'll enjoy it, and bring us home a victory, man. Upset the Irish.
Yeah, I'd love to do that. I want to make that trip to New Orleans for the Sugar Bowl that you guys have made so often for New Year's.
We will show you around, my friend. Yes, indeed. Make the trip. Wes, enjoy it, man. Thank you, buddy. We appreciate it.
You bet, guys. Talk to you next week.
All right. What was that? What was the exact yardage at one point? I can't find it. But that Georgia
It was about
game.
240 to 80. It was
No. It was over. It was overtime. It was like 260 to 54 or something. It was over.
It was
200.
4-1. Okay.
Yeah,
I remember
watching
3
the
to
game
1.
together. I mean, like
Yeah.
they weathered the storm. I mean, Texas blew opportunities to create a cushion. There's no doubt about that. But it is a lot of points for an offense, and that is it's choppy.
I like Texas to win the game and Clemson to cover the spread.
And or is it just part of the thing? I mean, they basically doubled. They had a bunch of yards against A&M too, but not points. So it's just part of what they are. Or it's just they're never challenged, so they're not getting better because of such a light schedule.
I'm going to blame it on Ewers again because I think he's been a big part of this.
He's had enough starts.
He's missed some throws. Yeah. He's missed some plays.
No, I agree with you there. He's had enough starts to get it going, and it's all happened. He was fine for a big chunk of the season. In an Arkansas game, it's like, man, what is going on?
He looked bad. There were times in the A&M game, the pick
A&M?
six that kept him in it.
Leaving a team in the game. He has kept some teams hanging around.
Yep.
There's no doubt about that. So we want to remind everybody about our friends over at Electric Man, electricmanbatonrouge.com. Electric Man. Electrical work is not do-it-yourself type of work at the house. Electrical safety will always be our top priority at electricmanbatonrouge.com. Whether it's tamper-resistant receptacles, ground fault circuit interrupter outlets, arc fault circuit interrupter outlets, or even USB outlets, we've got you covered at Electric Man. Looking for fast professionals to conveniently set up good lighting to your home or your home office with fixtures? Electric Man could provide additional security lighting, quality holiday lighting, or even wireless lighting to brighten up your interiors or your landscapes. You can learn about all of our services at electricmanbatonrouge.com, 372-5356, or you can schedule your call at electricmanbatonrouge.com.
Live at Modesto, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Modesto on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
We return here at Modesto, bringing our friend Scott Rabelais from The Advocate, who's been reading to children about somebody scary and green and not Aaron Rodgers. Scott, how you doing this afternoon?
I'm great. It was the history of Tulane football I was reading to them.
Oh, was it the Grinch? Was it the Grinch?
No, it was the Grinch. It was the Grinch.
Yeah.
Yes. How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Yes.
Right.
My 4-year-old grandson's pre-K class.
And you're reading the Grinch. That's great. That's great.
Yeah, it was fun.
Love that kind of stuff. We had the kids out this weekend taking pictures with Santa. They wanted everybody in the picture. And Santa says, "What do you want for Christmas?" I said, "I want somebody to paint my kitchen." And he looked at me kind of funny, So I don't know.
Surak called me the Grinch yesterday, and I
did.
told him screw you. So,
Right.
I don't know why he would call me.
Y'all have quite the love
Perfectly
hate.
in character. There you go.
Scott, it's all transfer portal all the time these days for LSU. What do you make of the comings and goings to this point? Yesterday, LSU got their biggest catch so far in the transfer portal in Oklahoma receiver Nick Anderson.
Whatever the adventure, there's a BMW engineered to take it on. The X3 delivers a striking design with agile performance. The 100% electric i4 packed with pure electric energy. Or the plug-in hybrid X5, an impressive versatile SUV granting full control on every journey. Choose what powers your next adventure during the BMW Road Home Sales Event. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Hurry in for exceptional offers through January 2nd. Visit BMWUSA.com for details.
All right, we're all set for the party. I've trimmed the tree, hung the mistletoe, and paired all those weird-shaped knives and forks with the appropriate cheeses. And I plugged in the Bartesian.
Bartesian?
It's a home cocktail maker that makes over 60 premium cocktails, plus a whole lot of seasonal favorites, too. I just got it for 50 off. So, how about a Cosmopolitan or a mistletoe margarita?
I'm thirsty.
Watch. I just pop in a capsule, choose my strength, and...
Wow, it's beginning to feel more seasonal in here already.
If your holiday party doesn't have a bartender, then you become the bartender. Unless you've got a Bartesian, because Bartesian crafts every cocktail perfectly in as little as 30 seconds. And I just got it for $50 off.
'Tis the season to be jollier.
Add some holiday flavor to every celebration with the sleek, sophisticated home cocktail maker, Bartesian. Get $50 off any cocktail maker at Bartesian.com/cocktail. That's BARTESIAN.com/cocktail.
Yeah, it's interesting to see, what they are considering to be priorities. Obviously, they lost to this point. 16 players have left the program, and then you have guys who are just going to the NFL, like Will Campbell and Emory Jones and Mason Taylor. But to see what they see that they have to prioritize, and clearly wide receiver has been that, and you have to the production, the numbers they brought in with Nick Anderson from Oklahoma, Barry and Brown from Kentucky, Destin Hill from Florida State, and then the one that surprised me a little bit was the transfer quarterback, Michael Van Buren. I don't know, I'm going to call him Martin Van Buren at some point. He's at LSU.
Yeah,
just know
sure.
But it's like, okay, since Nussmeier's coming back, and you have still have Colin Hurley, obviously Ricky Collins also entered the portal, and you think you have AJ Swan back. So but they still went out to get another guy. I like that they got Bauer Sharp, the tight end from Oklahoma as well, and then some other some of the key players on defense. So it's you see what they're prioritizing. You could pick just about any position. I mean, secondary, defensive line, offensive line. I think they're going to have to. Everybody's waiting for that shoe to drop from that Virginia Tech center. I've been reading the Grinch. I think he has not signed yet with LSU. To this point.
I think that is a done deal. I hate
so
those.
too. Yeah.
I hate those words. I just don't think that it's been released yet. But I think that's a done deal. If my math is right, Scott, from the end of the season, if you take out the players that LSU has lost in the transfer portal plus the ones that have gone pro, and you add in the transfer portal in plus the recruiting class, I think you're at a net either zero or net -1 as far as just your numbers. So your numbers are okay. The transfer portal's not done. I suspect they're going to sign 3 or 4 more in this deal. So your numbers are okay. Your quarterback numbers are good. You've got 3 quarterbacks who have started basically a full season apiece in the Southeastern Conference. So your numbers are fine. Your depth is fine. Do you have the impact guys? And I think that's the question. Do you have these? Can Nick Anderson be a number 1 receiver, or can Barry and Brown be a number 1 receiver? Can either of these edge rushers that they brought in from Nebraska and Florida be a 7 or 8 sack guy next year? Are there impact players in this class?
Well, they're going to have to be. I mean, these are guys who are going to be, picked to come in. If you're getting a transfer portal guy, obviously you're getting someone who you think can come in and play a pivotal role for you right away. Other than maybe Van Buren, who obviously we expect to be the backup to Garrett Nussmeier. Though Kelly talks about competition, but we know really what it's like. A Jack Pyburn who comes in on the defensive line. Can he help you with the run defense right away? Same with Jamari Butler, a former starter at Nebraska. People like Jakeem Jackson, former highly recruited player than Mason from Florida, and Mansour Delane. I hope I'm saying his name right, from Virginia Tech, another cornerback. So you got to repopulate that depth. I think Nick Saban said it very well during the season. He said, you used to have first, second, and third string. Now you got first and third string, and second strings left out. I mean, these are the guys who are transferring out, who are close to starting and maybe frustrated with their role or their plight at your program, and they see a greener pasture somewhere else. So you've got to repopulate that depth. Now they got probably about 10 wide receivers, for the start of next season, and maybe more. So that's good. You got more cornerbacks in the mix. Of course, you had the big freshman recruit from Florida, the 5-star cornerback. So you think, Pickett, he could be a starter right away. But these are guys who are. I suspect most of them, the transfers, you're expecting they're gonna contribute right away, if not start. Sure.
I saw we on the podcast on Monday night. We got some film on Jack Pyburn. He's fine against the run, at least from what I saw the other night. He's a pretty thick edge and plays the run pretty well. All right, let's say that they've got another handful of spots, Scott. 3 to 5 spots left in the portal, and let's for the moment think that more is done at center from Virginia Tech. What else do you want? Your biggest Christmas wish list, if you're Brian Kelly here, 9. You got 9 players in 9 days. What else is on your list?
I would say another running back. If you could get that, obviously, the running game, the LSU is. We think of them more now as a passing team, but you got to have that running game that has been, very hit and miss the last couple of years. Yeah, you have Caden Durham. You expect to come back, although, I'm sure LSU fans are worried that someone's going to try to poach him, but I imagine they've prioritized him pretty well. He's going to come back, but you're losing Josh Williams, and you got some freshmen coming in who are very, very talented, Harlan Berry, and, what's going to happen with Trey. Maybe they know what's going to happen with Trey Holly. I don't know. If Trey Holly comes back, well, then your problems are solved. But if not, you probably need to go get another running back. And I think just more guys, on the offensive line. This got to be another priority. Another player or two. Certainly a center, but just about any position. You name it. You get somebody to help you out there.
I'm not overly worried about the running back position, and I'm certainly not counting on Trey Holly. If he comes back, he comes back. But what they recruited, and Caleb Jackson didn't hit the transfer portal, which it wouldn't have surprised me if he had. So for the moment, I'm okay there. I would like to see them add another offensive lineman, specifically a tackle, if there's one out there that they can get to. And I would really like to see them add at least one safety. I know they brought several in, and they're still out there fishing. But they've had 3 safeties hit the transfer portal. One of them was a starter, and they need some help back there. I'm very anxious. The one thing I'd like to see in the bowl game, I want to watch Deshaun Spears. I was really high on him coming out of camp. He played a little bit in September and then seemed to kind of fade into mostly a special teams role during the second half of the season. But I think he's got tremendous potential. But they need some – and Gilbert's coming back. I thought he had a rough year. I think that's a position that they would love to be able to bring some experience in. So I'm kind of looking at that spot as well with the last few.
Does Harold Perkins come back? That's another question. You could say maybe you get a linebacker or not. Does he come back? Haven't heard him leave.
No, he's still right. Hilton and Hilton made a difference. When he finally got healthy and finally got on the field, you saw what he can do. Brown, to me, Barian Brown from Kentucky is a healthy version of Chris Hilton. They look similar. They run similar. Except Brown's played 37 games over the last 3 years, and Hilton has played considerably fewer than that. So, if I could have them both, boy, wouldn't that be great? For Perkins, to me, this is. I'm sure I'm making it more simple than it is. I would have a conversation with the young man and say, listen, if you want to come back and you want to be an edge rusher, we'd love to have you. You may not play every down, but you can be a situational pass rusher. You can have a hell of a year and really accentuate your value. If you wanted to come back and look at him as maybe a star position in the spring, I'll listen to that too. But if you want to play inside linebacker, you got to go somewhere else. You're not an inside linebacker. They've wasted 2 springs and 2 Augusts worth of reps on him, an inside linebacker. He's not an inside linebacker. He's not going to be an inside linebacker. Whit Weeks had a good year, 100%. and I kind of shudder to think where he might have been if he'd got to soak up some of those reps in August last year.
You're right.
This is what Perkins does. He's a pass rusher. He's not great in coverage. He's not a good open field tackler. Take the Arkansas game out of your head for a second. I can show you film after film where the open field tackling is not great. So if you want to be a pass rusher, I think that's where your future is. If you want to continue this, dream scenario about being the next I don't know, Ray Lewis or whatever, you got to do it someplace else. So I don't know what Kelly's conversation with him is going to be like, but that's what mine would be. And I think I'm not in the business of running off talented football players because I think he is, but you got to come to the reality. You're 225 pounds. Go out and work on your pass rush game. Work on a spin move, work on a swim move, work on whatever it is you're going to work on to go with the speed move, and you can really make some money playing this game. You want to go inside and play inside linebacker, you're going to have to do that someplace else. That'd be me.
Well, he'll go
clearly
somewhere
he's
else.
ta-
He taught
clear-
something like that. Well, I mean,
it's easy for me to say that.
I mean,
here, I get it,
because
but
they got people lined up for him.
And that's fine. We've done this for 2 years, okay, and it didn't work. So
preaching to the choir.
Yeah.
It's the most misused, one of the most misused talents I've ever seen. I can't believe.
I'd love to have
Minnesota.
you back.
Watching the Minnesota Vikings on Monday night.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they had like 5 edge rushers on third downs.
Yeah, you want to make make some money in the NFL.
You know, and that was their package. That's their
Yeah.
pass rush package.
And I get, he's too small to be an edge rusher.
Think he could fit in there with the Vikings on 5? To be one of their 5.
He can rush the passer. He's really good at it. So go do that. We tried the other thing. In fact, we tried it twice. Scott, happy holidays to you. We always appreciate your time. Hope you enjoy the holidays with your family, and we'll catch up with you probably, I'm thinking, after the bowl game.
Bowl week, or right after that. I'll be heading to Houston probably on the 29th or so. Go catch the Tigers and Baylor, the Dave Aranda Bowl, the Kim Mulkey Bowl. Happy holidays to you guys as well, and all your listeners. And always a pleasure. You guys, I can't believe another year is drawing to a close for us. It's been a lot of them, but it's always been a thrill.
Appreciate it, Scott. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Here at Modesto.
Don't forget our friends at Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, your law firm for a lifetime, 343-1111. His great team of attorneys, his great staff over at the law offices of O.C. Brown wants to wish you and yours a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Over here at Modesto on the patio, again, our Go Eat Concepts Christmas table. I did a bundle for the Thanksgiving. I highly recommend it. It's really good stuff. We're doing a little different twist as well. Doing a smoked turkey breast, but we're also doing a smoked pulled pork, a prime rib, or a smoked brisket bundle as well. All the sides as well. The potato au gratin side is a must. Again, choose a bundle or select individual items ready to heat and serve in under 2 hours. Pre-order today through the 21st. Pick up Christmas Eve at Roca on Government Street.
Live at Modesto. Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
The Thibodeau store for last-minute gift items for dads, for brothers, for sons. Go over at the store 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodeau for power tools, for hand tools, for grills, for big green egg cookers, for some of those things that you can't get anywhere else. They do a terrific job with their Cypress furniture, chairs and benches, rockers and gliders, swings, all of these things available at the Thibodeau store. Plus, you can get in for delivery at ThibodeauStore.com. You're running out of time for that, though, as we get closer to Christmas. ThibodeauStore.com. Got some great cookware, Cajun cooking specialty cookware shipped right to your door. Of course, they're your home improvement experts at the Thibodeau store that walk you through any project that you think you can do yourself. You don't think you can do it, trust me, they can help you. It's better than a YouTube video. They save you time. They'll save you money. Thibodeau store and their sister property, the Pierre Pard store, just recently celebrated their 113th year anniversary. The Thibodeau store, 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodeau, and ThibodeauStore.com.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Modesto on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Boca Raton Bowl at 4:30 this afternoon, and then the Art of Sport LA Bowl. That's tonight at 8 o'clock. Cal and UNLV, the Boca Raton Bowl, Western Kentucky, and James Madison. We'll give you just a few little tidbits here for Western Kentucky. Starting quarterback Caden Veldkamp out. Backup TJ Finley, remember that name is out. Their number 2 wide receiver entered the portal. James Madison, I think, is in pretty decent shape. I think they've got there were no major runs to transfer portal that I could see, so they're in a little bit better shape. They are a 7.5-point favorite tonight. And, of course, for UNLV, Barry Odom has moved on to Purdue as the head coach. Dale Alexander, the wide receivers coach, will coach the bowl game tonight. Cal is, of course, without their starting quarterback, their leading wide receiver. Their starting left tackle is also in the transfer portal. And UNLV was 11th in sacks per game in the regular season, so UNLV a 3-point favorite tonight in the game.
Colucci still there.
Yeah, he is. And UNLV ran the ball pretty well, too. It was 21st in rushing success rate. And for Cal's defense, they only had one opponent the whole season ranked in the top 40 in rushing yards. So it's not a very tested rush defense. I don't know if I'm a little bit delirious or something. I actually like both favorites tonight in the game. I'm sorry, Velkamp is in the transfer portal, but he is going to play tonight for Western Kentucky. So I saw him in the transfer portal, assumed he wasn't playing. Nice catch, Max. He's going to play tonight. Still like JMU a little bit in this game. Got any thoughts about the two tonight?
I'm kind of probably going to go with the under, sort of a reverse line movement. A lot of people like to bet the overs in the bowl games. And, I think the weather-related is going to keep it. Some of the bigger money is on the under in tonight's game.
Raining
raining
in Boca. Thanks to the folks here at Modesto for being our host today. Tomorrow we are back downtown at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar and Town Square Pizza. Until then, for Jimmy Ott, for Max Gotro, Jordan back in the studio, I'm Charles Hanniger saying thank you and good afternoon. Stay tuned for Hunt Palmer on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This holiday, BMW has reunited 3 members of the family at the BMW Road Home Sales Event. The Agile X3, engineered for any adventure. The plug-in hybrid X5, commanding the streets with unmatched presence. And the all-electric i4, charging into the future with impeccable performance. Hurry in to find what powers your journey at the BMW Road Home Sales Event. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Visit the Valley BMW Center today for attractive lease and finance offers.
All right, we're all set for the party. I've trimmed the tree, hung the mistletoe, and paired all those weird-shaped knives and forks with the appropriate cheeses. And I plugged in the Bartesian.
Bartesian?
It's a home cocktail maker that makes over 60 premium cocktails, plus a whole lot of seasonal favorites, too. I just got it for $50 off. So, how about a Cosmopolitan or a mistletoe margarita?
I'm thirsty.
Watch. I just pop in a capsule, choose my strength, and...
Wow, it's beginning to feel more seasonal in here already.
If your holiday party doesn't have a bartender, then you become the bartender. Unless you've got a Bartesian, because Bartesian crafts every cocktail perfectly in as little as 30 seconds. And I just got it for $50 off.
'Tis the season to be jollier.
Add some holiday flavor to every celebration with the sleek, sophisticated home cocktail maker, Bartesian. Get $50 off any cocktail maker at bartesian.com/cocktail. That's BARTESIAN.com/cocktail.
Hey, it's Ryan Seacrest. Life comes at you fast, which is why it's important to find some time to relax. A little you time. Enter Chumba Casino. With no download required, you can jump on anytime, anywhere for the chance to redeem some serious prizes. So treat yourself with Chumba Casino and play over 100 online casino-style games, all for free. Go to ChumbaCasino.com to collect your free welcome bonus. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply.